Imagine with me, before PlayStation, before Minecraft, before anyone even thought of the word gaming, there was one man standing in a laboratory amidst giant machines and complex wires. And suddenly, he said to himself, why don't we make the machine entertain people instead of scaring them? From here, the first game in history began. The story happened in 1958. In a time when computers were the size of an entire room and were only used for the military, accounting, or nuclear physics. At that time, there was a scientist named William Higginbotham. He works in a laboratory called Brookhaven National Laboratory in America. They were preparing for a science fair, so he thought, why don't we do an experiment that makes the visitors happy, instead of seeing technology that scares them? And indeed, he used a complex device called an oscilloscope and connected it to a primitive computer. And he designed a simple game where a ball moves left and right between two players. What's her name? Tennis for two people. The game was very primitive, but at the time, it was a revolution. It was displayed on a green screen with a dot representing a tennis ball, and people controlling it with buttons. Each player has a button to control the angle of their shot. It had no graphics, no sounds, but it was the first time people interacted with a screen for the purpose of playing. The result? Lines of people, especially school students, stood for hours to try it. Everyone was impressed. For the first time, technology became fun, not scary, despite Tennis for Two being considered the first true video game. But it wasn't a commercial project. Higginbotham didn't patent, and he didn't think about developing it further. For him, it was a temporary scientific experiment, and it ended. The company that later took the spotlight was called Atari. When the game Pong was released in 1972, it was almost the same idea, but with a commercial design. And from there, the game industry truly began. If you think about it, this game was very simple, but the meaning behind it was profound. For the first time, a human is using a computer for war, and not to complex calculations, but to make people laugh and enjoy themselves. From this idea came the thought, why don't we let the machine play with us, not just work for us? And from this idea, a billion-dollar industry was born. Tens of millions of jobs, millions of players, thousands of YouTubers. They all started from the same point, literally a dot on an oscilloscope screen. Today, when you hold the controller and start playing, remember that you are part of a history that began over 60 years ago with a simple idea from a world that wasn't making profits. He just wanted to make people smile. Tennis for Two wasn't just the first game, it was a spark that changed everything. If this is the first time you've heard about the first video game in the world, write me in the comments, what was the first game you ever played in your life? And don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you like strange stories from the gaming world. See you in the next video.